Okay, guys, we're back this week. Y'all have any questions about what we've gone over? Guys, we've covered a lot of stuff already. We really have.
Just seeing that one that I did, what was it, printing.
Yeah.
And spell check. All those little tutorials, I was like, oh my gosh.
Good
Did we
stuff.
go over this last week or not? It's my little boy. He drew in my note. I was like,
I don't know what those notes are. So we're at the end of the first part.
Okay.
So I mean, now it's going to get into in-depth stuff about what we've already gone over. So if you didn't get what we got already,
Good luck.
hang on, because it's getting ready to get a little bit more in depth. So
when is this about the time where we're supposed to start bringing on?
oh, he didn't stop there.
hey, I'll let you know when that day comes.
Well, I'm saying,
Goodness.
this is the first part.
Are you on medicine or what?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's got her rowdy.
No, but we're not far. That's what I'm saying. We're getting into the in-depth part, so now it's going to be getting close to doing that. So anyway, this is the conclusion. So if you're looking for the tutorial where I'm at, this is the conclusion.
Oh, it's called the conclusion. Okay. I was like, where are we beginning at the end? It's very backwards.
Okay. We're going to talk about internet support.
Let's see how the internet can be used to obtain Total Eclipse support and updates. You can click on an internet icon of a toolbar or select Internet Support from the Help column of the menu bar. Eclipse will supply the appropriate internet address, although you could use this dialog to go to any website that you want to. Here's the Advantage Software homepage. Let's click on Support. This is one way to obtain support releases and download files. And there's also a How-To section with descriptions of how to perform common procedures. For some things, you'll need to log in with a username and password. And the first time you do this, you'll need to create a new account. To create this new account, you'll need to answer a few questions. And you'll especially want to click on the box that requests access to the Total Eclipse AccuCap private forums and software updates. Once you've created a new account, you'll be ready to log in. Let's go to the navigation bar and enter the Total Eclipse forum. There's a forum for those who are using the general release version of Total Eclipse, as well as a separate forum for those who are using the development version of the program. Just click on a topic, and you'll be able to see Eclipse users asking questions and helping one another and making suggestions for new features. Just click on Reply to post your message within a discussion. To download updates of Total Eclipse and other files, you can either go to the support page or just click on Updates in the navigation column. Here you'll find updated documentation, kits for Eclipse users, and software updates for both the general release of the program, which is updated about once a year, and the development version of the program, which is updated about once a week as new features are being implemented and fine-tuned. Here I'll download an update for the general release version of Total Eclipse, and I'll save it on my Windows desktop so that it will be easy to find. Of course, before you install an update, you must have Total Eclipse turned off. Here I'll double-click on the installer and let it automatically extract its files to the correct location. Then a Changes file will open to tell me what new features have been added to the program. If you want to read about the new version changes again in the future, just go to the Help menu column of Total Eclipse and select New Version Changes. Eclipse never stops improving, so be sure to maintain your support and update policy. That way you'll be able to take advantage of all the resources that are available on CRNet.
So what they're telling you right there is, I mean, you can get all the new changes, everything, whatever, after you pay your money. Okay? So when you become a reporter. So this isn't just, hey, you know, I bought it and, no. But, I mean, you know, they're always changing it and they're always figuring out better ways to, you know, come up with better stuff. So it's good. Okay, most of this stuff is for like working reporters and whatever, getting continuing education points and what's tutorials and stuff like that. So some of these tutorials, I think you can get continuing education points, which once you get out, you're gonna have to get every 2 years. So, yeah. So any questions about that? It's pretty
He was asking
straightforward.
how many
How many do you need each year, or every 2 years?
10.
10.
Yeah. 10. So that equals 10 hours. So like I have to get mine this year, so they're throwing a seminar next Saturday, a week from Saturday, that's 12 hours from 7 to 7. So you can get all your points in one day.
Wow.
Or, you know, you can go to a seminar and you go on Thursday and have, you know, 3 or 4 hours, 5 hours on Friday, 4 or 5, 6 hours on Saturday, and then Sunday is usually like a couple of hours or whatever.
And are they fairly easy or?
Yeah,
Do you
I
take
mean,
a
you just
test
sit
at the
there and
end?
listen. Huh?
Do you take a test at the end or something?
No.
Or you just attend?
You just attend.
Cool.
So they log your hours or whatever, and then you have to go onto the internet and renew your license every 2 years. So they say you don't want it to lapse, because then you possibly could have to take the test again,
Oh.
the state
Keep up
test.
with it.
So it's something you don't want to have lapse. Okay? So
Hey, it was Boss's Day. Did you do anything for the judge? Or you all aren't that close?
hey, turn that thing off.
What?
Pause.
I'm making combo in the middle of your transition here.
Not that type of subject.
Yeah.
Sorry,
This is
how was your
Eclipse- This is Eclipse
weekend?
hour.
That's We'll have to get it done.
You have to excuse me, bro. I'm quiet for 8 hours of my day. It's like a hose. I just can shut and splat.
Silly girl.
You know that thing is on, right?
You can edit that part out.
The simplest paragraphs within Eclipse are called fixed. Here, let's look at their margins. Create a new Eclipse document, or press the Enter key when your cursor is at the end of a document, and a blank line will be added. Sometimes proceedings begin in such a rush that the reporter just starts writing, and the result might look like this. The text appears to spill off the page. Let's see why that is.
Yeah, why
User
does that
settings, paragraphs, fixed, and the right margin is set at 80. So the text wrapped right off the page. But that will be corrected as soon as I change this fixed paragraph to a question or some other paragraph with narrower margins. So should fixed paragraphs just not be set to have such wide margins? Not necessarily. Here, these blanks are being allowed to exceed the page boundaries. at least until they're filled in. So fixed paragraphs are perfect for the style of the case. For a paragraph to wrap your text on opening and closing pages, use one of the many available style paragraphs instead of the fixed paragraph.
You got that? So if it goes out the page, your right margin is too big. Whatever.
Go to user settings and fix it.
Yeah, go to user settings, which is
Thanks. Alt U. And then
Alt
go
U,
to paragraph.
Paragraphs.
Ready-made and reusable text, like parentheticals and cover pages, are called block files. You can use either your computer keyboard to read in such text, or your steno keyboard for auto-include strokes defined in your dictionary. Here's where I'd like to read in the text from my sworn block file. The speed key to do so would be Alt-R, as in read.
Write this down.
Alt R.
Alt-R is for block files. Now I haven't given you the block files yet, but that's coming, okay? So this is gonna be where a parenthetical comes in, like whereupon the exhibit was marked, whereupon a lunch break was had, whereupon, and you can do this stuff on your machine. You know, so you do break, break. I do break, break for whereupon a short recess was had, or off, off for whereupon an off-the-record discussion was had. You know, like they want to talk about, you know, well, Judge, they're getting into something that, you know what, off the record. You don't just off the record. You have to show in the body of the thing, and it's not 9 pages. Whereupon the judge said that we need to go off the record, so we went off the record, and I just kind of sat there and listened. But the attorneys talked for about 20 minutes, and then no, it's something short, 1 line. That's all it is. Whereupon a short off the record discussion was had. That's it. So you'll see once I give them to you or whatever. But
That
this is
sounds
how you
long,
read.
too.
Huh?
That sounds long too.
What's that?
But that's the one stroke.
Yeah, off, off.
Oh,
So
so that,
off, lun is for lunch, break, break is for whereupon a short recess was had. Mark is gonna be your only one. That's the exhibit mark. There may be a couple of lines, whatever, but you know, for the most part, it's keeping it simple. You know, you don't need 9 lines to tell the reader that y'all went off the record for a short discussion. No.
But you can also click on the Read Block icon on the toolbar, or use the Block menu. Now I'll select my sworn file and open it. And here's the ready-made text that's been inserted for me. Let's create a dictionary entry that will let me write the word sworn twice and have Eclipse automatically.
Pay attention right here, okay? Pay attention to what they're telling you right here, because they're going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to back it up just a bit. Pay attention.
Entry that will let me write the word sworn twice and have Eclipse automatically include the text from my sworn block file. Eclipse even offers help for such special dictionary entries. So here I'll press Ctrl E and then A couple of times and the Enter key, which tells Eclipse to prepare for an auto-include entry. Now all I have to do is type in the name of my block file,
And you're going to
put
see
this in my dictionary. And here's the text that was read in for me.
And you're going to see that once we do it, once I give you the block files, it puts all the files in, okay? So like the sworn, I'm going to back it up just a little bit and kind of show you.
Auto include entry.
So, I mean, like when you come here on the sworn, it's gonna open this little thing or whatever. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna come to the auto extras, I believe. I think, yeah, the auto extras right here. And you're gonna put auto include, okay? So you're gonna push A till it comes to auto include, okay? Auto include is this little thing, and that little X tells it that there's a block file that needs to be read in. So what's pretty cool about it is when this thing comes up, and you're gonna see right here,
Now all I have to
it already puts a prompt right here. So what the software does is it automatically opens up your block files. So it's gonna open up a totally different box down here. You don't have to type anything in. You'll see once we start doing it. You're not gonna have to type anything in. All you're gonna have to do is select from a file of block files. So all you do is put SW. There's gonna be another little box right here. And I can't hardly show you. Yeah, I mean, you'll understand when we get to it, okay? It's gonna open up another box down here, and it's gonna say, okay, which file do you want? You put S, W, and then all of the S is gonna come up, and then when you put W, everything with SW comes up, and you're gonna see sworn. Click on it, push OK. It's automatically gonna put sworn in there. You ask it if you wanted to put it in your main. Absolutely you do. Put it in your main. Now, every time you hit sworn, it's gonna bring up that parenthetical. It's pretty cool. It's actually pretty neat. So you can do all of these things on your machine without doing anything. All you have to do is define them. And I'm gonna show you how to do it. But that's what they're talking about.
do is type in the name of my block file and put this in my dictionary. And here's the text that was read in for me automatically.
So now when you put in sworn, it's going to put in something, mine's not like this, but it's going to be something like this. This is more for a deposition. Mine's not, mine is for court. So like when the judge says, okay, we're going to call Katie as the next witness. Okay, well, Katie, come on up. Raise your right hand, Katie. Well, you don't write everything they say. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to? You don't write all that. All you do is put sworn, and all he does is puts a parenthetical in there, whereupon the witness was sworn to tell the truth. That's all you do. Okay? Got it?
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
Let's see how page breaks and conditional page breaks work. If all you want to do is force a page break at this spot so that examination will begin the next page, then you can press Speed key Alt-N to open the print commands dialog.
You're going to write that down too. Alt-N. Yeah. Brings up insert, print command, you know, whatever. So it lets you do any of a number of these things right here. The one that you're going to use the most is conditional page break. Or page break. Those are the ones you're going to use the most. Let me give you a little example, okay? Let me back it up just a bit so I can show you exactly.
And to open the print commands, then you can press Speed key Alt at this spot. So
Everybody up here. Examination, a byline, any of that stuff is not going to be on page 25. I mean on line 25, okay? It's always going to start on the next page. So you're not going to have, by Mr. So-and-so, question on the next page. And that's always going to be on the same page. And you're going to find that when we do the block files, that most of them have it in there already. So they have page breaks, conditional page breaks. So when it has examination, it automatically has like a byline. So it has like a conditional page break for 2 lines. So let's just say you start right here and you do dram, which is your thing on your machine for direct examination. It's going to come up direct examination, hit your speaker, question, all of that needs to be together. Direct examination, byline, question is all on the same line. You're not going to have direct examination by Mr. So-and-so, next page, question. All of that is going to be on the same page. All of it. Okay? Needs to be. All right? So, this software already tells it. When you do dram, speaker, it already has a conditional 2-line page break. So it already knows. If it ends up on 24, it's automatically going to take it down to the next page. Every now and then it gets a little quirky. For some reason it may not do it, but I'm going to show you how to do it to where it should do it. Okay? And if it doesn't, then I'm going to show you how to do it if it doesn't. Okay? But just so you understand what they're telling you right here.
The examination will begin the next page. Then you can press Speed key Alt-N to open the Print Commands dialog. Page break is the first choice, so if you press the Enter key, that's okay. But there's also a small print command icon on the edit.
So like this little thing right here is just a command that it's telling the software. So it doesn't show up on the page. Okay? So what you have to do is like if you just arrow down or come down, you're not going to see this page break. Okay? And it's like, well, why? You know, and if you accidentally have a page break in there, and I'm going to show you how to do it to put a page break in there, all of a sudden you're at line 4, and then you go to line 1 of the next page. It's like, well, why is it doing that? It doesn't show anything, and it won't let me go up. I can't back up and let it go up because you have a page break there. Okay? I'm telling you this so that when I explain it to you and show it to you, you're going to say, oh, now I know what he was talking about. Okay? And that's why. So when you print it, it's not going to show a page break on there. So this is just kind of for your view on the computer. Okay?
Toolbar. And print commands are also an item on the Edit menu. Another great option is to use conditional page breaks if you want text like examination to always be on the same page as the line that follows.
And you do. And you do. I just explained that to you. How you always want examination and the byline and the question on the same page, and that's why you have a conditional page break with 2 lines. And that's what it's asking you. So you can put as many as you want. Okay? I wouldn't, but I mean you can.
So here, if I set a conditional page break to keep these 2 lines together, then Eclipse will automatically force a new page to begin.
You see how it did it? So it ended on, we're back on the record, blah, blah, blah. Okay, start the examination. Well, it ended on 24. Well, if you moved it up, then it would be on 25. Examination would be on 25, byline on 1, question on 2. It all goes together. So it already knows, it already told it. You know what, there's a conditional page break right here of 2 lines. I need to put that thing together. And it does. So it automatically moves it down. Okay?
With the word examination. So when you're creating your block files, think about using conditional page breaks.
Got it?
Let's see how Eclipse automatically inserts byline paragraphs to identify your questioners. This first format was used when a speaker paragraph was immediately followed by a question paragraph. And this second format was used when a question paragraph was immediately followed by a speaker paragraph. Bylines can be inserted automatically during translation. Here the system has recognized the speaker stroke, and when it's immediately followed by a question stroke, a byline paragraph is inserted.
You see what it did? So the software already knows to set it up as a byline because that's what it needs to be. It doesn't need to be a speaker, then question. So it doesn't need to be set up in colloquy. It needs to be set up as a byline because that's the person that's going to be asking the questions next. Okay? So when you do the speaker question, it automatically knows to set it up as a byline. Okay?
However, you can also insert the byline during the course of editing. Here I wrote the question stroke, but did not indicate the speaker. So I'll put my cursor at the end of the paragraph before the question and press F2 to select a speaker. And that will insert the byline for me.
You see what it did right there? That's important too, because sometimes, you know, maybe you forgot to press a speaker and they, you know, you were just behind and then all of a sudden just start going into Q&A. I don't know how to set up a byline. Okay, no big deal. Go behind. I'm going to rewind it just a bit. All you do is go to the end of that line.
And press.
All you do is come to the end of the line right here. Okay. Mr. Green, you may continue questioning. Okay, thank you, Judge. And then you just go into the question answer. You forgot to hit the speaker again. Well, you have to hit the speaker even if Mr. Green was the last speaker. Does that make sense? It doesn't?
I mean, kind of.
Okay, so say right here, it's the court, and the court says, Mr. Green, you may continue questioning. And Mr. Green is talking to the court. Okay, Judge, thank you. Now you have to hit Mr. Green again because it's at the end of the sentence. Hit Mr. Green, hit the question. That knows and that tells the software to set up the byline and set up the examination. So really what you're supposed to do is the court saying, okay, Mr. Green, you may question. Mr. Green says, okay, Judge, thank you. Dram, if he's direct examination, or cram if he's cross-examination. I'm gonna show you how to set it up. Sometimes you don't have time to put all this stuff in because it's a lot of stuff. Dram, Mr. Green, whatever his speaker thing is, question, ready to go. It's kind of a lot.
That's a lot.
Well, don't freak out. It's no big deal if you forget to put the dram. Because I'm gonna show you, which is what on the block files. Alt-R for reading in block files. All you do is go to Alt-R, D-I is going to bring up direct examination, hit direct examination, it's automatically going to put it in there. No big deal, okay? So sometimes you get caught off guard, but if you know in advance and you're like, Mr. Green, go ahead and question the witness, it's your witness. Okay, thank you, Judge. And he's getting his stuff together, this is the time, dram, Mr. Green, question, ready to go. Okay, would you state your name for the record, please? You got it all there. And you look like a genius. It's all set up. Man, it's direct examination. They got it all set up. Mr. Green, question. I'm going to show you how to do it. But don't freak out if for some reason you forget to put. The most important thing is trying to get the speaker. And even if you don't get the speaker, don't freak out then because you're going to be able to do it. Okay? Which is, you put your cursor right here at the end of the sentence to set up the byline. So when there's a speaker that you're putting in that precedes the question, it automatically knows to set it up as the byline. So maybe this guy came up here, Mr. Jones said, you know what, I object. I object to that question. Well, you have to hit Mr. Jones. I object to that question. Mr. Green's like, on what grounds? That's an improper objection. Mr. Jones comes back, well, I object on hearsay. And the judge says, overruled. You may continue, Mr. Green. Mr. Green, thank you, Judge. Now you have to hit Mr. Green again, question. You don't have to hit the dram again if he's already been examining. This is gonna make sense a little bit further down the line, but I'm preparing you for what's coming. Okay, so it's not like, what? And now you just feel overwhelmed and blah, 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 whatever. Okay, so you're only going to put examination once, unless it says, you know what, we're going to go ahead and break for lunch in the middle of questioning. Trust me. There was a judge, God rest his soul, but at 11:59 and 59 seconds, he's like, okay, we're breaking, and it didn't matter if you're in, okay, tell us about the car and we're breaking for lunch. We'll see y'all after lunch.
Yeah.
12 o'clock, you broke for lunch, you came back at 1:30, ready to go. Not 1:31, not 1:32. He was about everything.
Punctual.
And at 5 o'clock, that's it. You know, unless he decided that he wanted to stay late. Most of the judges will, you know, hey, let's get to an end. How much more questioning do you have? Judge, we have 5 minutes till 12. I've got 15 minutes. Okay, we're gonna work 10 minutes into lunch, finish this examination, and then we'll come back, you know, because we're done with that examination. Now we're going to go to cross-examination when we come back, okay? Which makes it easier and better for the record, but some judges are like, it's 12 o'clock, we're going to lunch. So it happens, you know, so this way, now you have to come back with continued direct examinations, because it's a continuation after the break of lunch or whatever. Does that make sense? Okay.
F2 to select a speaker, and that will insert the byline for me. Settings, edit, by formats. Here's where you indicate the format to be used when a speaker is immediately followed by a question, and a different format, if you wish, for when a question is immediately followed by a speaker. You also have the rather unusual option of using bylines for answer paragraphs. Let's see how that works. Bylines could be very helpful for answers when questions are asked of several people at the same time. Here I could place my cursor on the beginning of this answer and press F2 to select who is giving the answer.
I've only had that one time in the 26, 27 years that I've been reporting, or whatever, so 25-ish, whatever. But I went and took a deposition of a husband-wife one time in Carn City. So I get there, whatever, it's at a bank, and he says, okay, we're gonna take them both together. Huh? Yeah. Well, I was so new back then, I said, okay, whatever. So he's asking the question, okay, when the accident happened, what do y'all remember happening? I mean, one at a time, but I mean, you tell me, and the wife was like, oh, okay, we were going down Main Street and we came in and hit the car and it was a red car, wasn't it, honey? And the guy comes in, yeah, red, maroon, what? Holy cow. So none of this is really in question answer. You know, it's all kind of like colloquy, you know, because they're just talking. You know, it's like he's asking answers, but you have two different witnesses. Well, you can't put an answer when it's the wife and an answer when it's the husband later, because the reader doesn't know. The reader only reads what they're able to read. They're not able to watch it,
Right.
you know, unless it was a videotaped deposition. But even then, you know, if it goes up on appeal, you know, it's like, well, the deposition said, well, who was answering? There was two witnesses in there. So it gets kind of crazy. But I mean, if I was doing it now, it'd be totally different now. You know, back then I really wouldn't say a whole lot or whatever. Now, we ain't doing that no more. One, it's hard. I mean, because it's like having a discussion. I mean, they have an attorney. They have an attorney, there's a defense attorney, there's a plaintiff's attorney, you know, whatever. So there's three attorneys in there, the two witnesses. There's 5 people. So now you have 5 speakers that you have to keep track of everyone, you know, and remember these things. And while they're talking, well, was it a red car? So they're looking at each other. You're like, I don't even know who's going to talk. And then she starts talking. You have to hit, you know, yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, I mean, and that's what they're talking about right there. But trust me, you won't use it. You won't use it very much. But
What would you have said? What would you have said to them then, knowing what you know now?
I'll tell you, ask me that afterwards.
Well, you could say it in a professional manner. There's a way you could be like,
I would have just told them no.
I
We're gonna take 'em one at a
respectably
time.
refuse.
Yeah, it's going to get confusing, and it is. I mean, but I mean, you know, it's his deposition. So I mean, he would have the option of, no, yeah, shh. You're just going to take it down, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, when you get that bill, it'll be a little different.
Did
okay?
you bill them extra?
No, I mean,
You
back
were
then,
rookie
I didn't
moving
know.
all over the joint.
I
Oh,
didn't know,
God.
so I mean, you know, and I was working for somebody else, and I went back. She's like, "Oh my God, there's no way, you know, you should have been asked to do that or whatever." But it was like, well, I didn't know, and I mean, I did it, and you know,
You learn.
whatever.
You learn
Yeah.
as you go.
So
Yeah.
I mean, you know, there's stuff that I think helps. You know, having a working reporter that's been in the field telling you stuff, and that's why I take the time to tell you the stories that I do, because you know, if it ever comes up, you're gonna be like, what?
David said
Okay,
this.
yeah. David said, no, don't do this. Who's Dave? Call Dave and tell him to come take this, yeah. But, I mean, you know, and if you didn't know, you're gonna be just like me, because no one ever told me, you know, hey, this thing comes up, it's gonna be hard, one, or two, don't do it. Just tell them, you know what, we're gonna take each individual deposition. But he's like, we'll just take them together, you know, what's a big deal? Well, it's no big deal on him, it's on you, okay? So,
Then have you check with
yeah, show.
At times you'll want to use bold, italicized, or underscored text. Let's see how to do that. If you only want to use bold printing, italics, or underscoring occasionally, then mark your text and change its attributes. But you can also create a dictionary entry.
Did you see that? So it's the control hyphen is the attributes or whatever, okay? So, I wouldn't get too worried about that. You know, especially like in a deposition, people are they're gonna know. So the only time I use bold, cap, any of that stuff is for like the witness, the type of hearing, any of that type of stuff. Other than that, you know, because it's the New York Times, no, I'd cap it. I mean, because it's the New York Times, you know, but other than that, no.
That applies special attributes as part of the translation process. You just need to let Eclipse know where these special attributes begin and where normal text resumes. So let me first capitalize the text in the global length window and add my attribute indicators. And now I'll place this in my dictionary. In this case, whenever this steno translates, it will appear in italics.
Yeah. So the next time I use that will be the first time I use that, okay? You want to write it down, help yourself. Pretty sure it's not going to be on the final. Whatever. If you want to write it down, that's how you do it. Not that big of a deal.
Let's see how Total Eclipse handles prefixes and suffixes. Your steno dictionary probably includes common prefixes to hook onto a following word, and suffixes to hook onto a previous word. Eclipse does a great job of adjusting spellings as it adds prefixes and suffixes, but please remember, it will only adjust the spellings if braces surround both the delete space symbol and the prefix or suffix text.
Guys, I can't tell you and stress to you how important this is. That's the only reason I'm stopping this, because we watched this video before. It's so important to do it correct, because if you do the caret ed, no brackets, so now when you do the studied, and it's study on study, oh, I want to put the studied. Okay, well, I do study, come back D. Well, now I put study, studyed. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know why I did that? Because you didn't tell the software to make the corrections. The software will do it for you if you put it in there correctly. It'll do all of this stuff, and it'll make your life so much easier, okay? But if you don't define it correctly, it's not gonna do it, okay? And then you're gonna get frustrated because it was like, Dave told me put the caret ed and it would take care of everything. You better be careful, because I'm gonna pull up this video where I told you 9 times not to do it without the brackets and how important it is with the brackets, okay? So like, you know, when you come to me and say, well, it's doing something funny. Well, it's doing something funny because you didn't do something right. And it's just one little thing, and it could be, and it's no big deal. you know, but, you know, it's not usually, and I'm not saying it's not sometimes, but it's not usually the software that's doing it, okay? It's because you didn't put something, one small thing in there, okay?
Eclipse will not automatically adjust spellings if only the deletes.
See what I'm telling you? So even if you put the bracket and said, yeah, but you put the bracket with a caret in the middle of the bracket and put ED, it's gonna know to put it together. Yeah. STUDYED. Studied. Good luck with that, okay? But if you do it correctly, it'll change it for you. You don't even have to worry about, you know, when it says studied and it's IED, it changes all of that for you. Everything, okay?
Base symbol is within braces. Eclipse comes with a prefixes and suffixes kit with a dictionary that includes several hundred entries. All you have to do is decide whether you want to use the steno that is given as an example, or press the Enter key to get inside and change the steno to something that you know you would write. The documentation should...
Y'all got that? If you write like that, ing, for your ing, yeah. What's my saying about that? Hmm?
Change your major.
The auto mechanics. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So you're not going to have to change a whole lot of this stuff. Okay. So don't reinvent the wheel. Okay.
Shows how these prefixes and suffixes added to common root words could help translate uncommon words beautifully. Much more could be said about prefixes and suffixes, but this is the subject of a separate in-depth ePower video tutorial which shows you step by step how to take advantage of the prefixes and suffixes kit.
Got it? Very lively group.
Is this an audience or a mosaic?
The first letter of a word is a magic spot where Eclipse anticipates your needs, like the need to throw in a dash. So when you need a fast dash, just press the hyphen keys, and on the less frequent occasions when you do need a hyphen, just press the shift and hyphen keys together. I need dashes where you see the blue arrows, so I'll place my cursor on the beginning of this word and press the hyphen, and then move over, hyphen, move over, hyphen. And each time it only took one.
You see what it's doing? How do you put a dash at the end of the sentence?
Or dash at the end.
At the end of the sentence.
Go to the end of the
I don't know. I don't know. I say my prayers every night, just hoping. Hmm?
Horrible.
Yes.
Apostrophe?
Dashes.
Like when you talk about when they interrupt.
Yeah. At the end of the sentence.
Go.
The apostrophe
to
flip?
before.
Control.
Dashes. For dashes.
Yeah, it's the A, isn't it?
For dashes. The dashes.
I keep saying apostrophe flip and you're not saying anything.
D?
Wow. With God.
Control Alt, Control
Right.
Shift. Jesus. Oh, one of them's gonna be right, I know it. Where is La Rosa?
Where is La Rosa when you need her? Oh, she's watching this video. She probably already said it 12 times when you're watching the video.
Eating
Dashes.
popcorn, looking at us live.
D.
Alt D. Yeah.
Alt D.
That's what I said.
Huh? To yourself? in your head.
It's not on here. I know, I don't have it in my notes. It's not on there?
I
I
didn't
don't see
say,
it.
I don't see it on here.
check under D. Is it?
Oh.
It just has the equal instead.
I'm telling you, we've already covered it in one of the lessons.
I know you have. It's not in my notes.
And it's probably one of the things, if you go back and watch the video that I told you, you might want to write this down.
Alt equal?
I
I have it under
everything.
alt equal over here.
For the end of the sentence,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sent with
And
dash.
sent with dash, that's what I'm saying.
see. That's funny. They didn't do anything. They didn't do it there either.
You're doing it wrong.
What is it, Katie?
I mean, mine works with all D.
Alt D.
Goes-
Look at that. I'm at the beginning of the sentence right there. Look up here. I'm at the beginning of the sentence. Look. Alt D puts it at the end.
Well, that is just very funny. Okay.
Holy cow,
That's
guys.
amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
Man, we're just covering a lot of stuff today.
Guys, and it's stuff we've already covered. You know, and
We
it's
should already all know this.
yeah, I mean, really, you know, let's just say this was one big old run-on sentence, and it's like, he gets to the end, and then after the, well, I thought that it was, he cut him off. So how are you going to put a dash at the end of the sentence? All D. All D. And that's all it is.
I left it in my car.
That one's gonna stay
The
with you.
first letter of a word
And
and
it
then
should.
move over.
That will be
Hyphen.
precedent on the
Over.
test.
Hyphen.
But this is different what they're telling you right here. Okay? So if you need to put dashes right here, where do you need to be?
You need to be
At the end of the word, at the beginning
In
of the
front.
in front of it.
In front.
In front of it.
And it'll do it behind. Remember, most of the your endings, period, question mark, whatever. How do you do those? So if I'm right here and I want to put a question mark, how would I do it, Debbie? And if you say Q, I'm gonna smack you.
Alt Q. I didn't say
You saved yourself by that all. No, it's just a question mark.
The one second.
That's all it is. So if you want to do it behind, it's the actual thing that you want. If you want the question mark at the end of the sentence, now it's Q. The period at the end of the sentence and you're at the beginning of the sentence, now it's P. The dash is at the end of the sentence, now it's Alt D. Okay? But if you want it behind it, all you do is the question mark, which is the, you know, shift question mark or whatever. Okay? Period. All you do is the period. Dashes is the same thing. So you put the it's the little dash is all it is. And it puts the two dashes. Okay? Like it's a break in the thought. You in the back.
Can I ask what Alt 4 does?
Alt 4.
Uh-huh.
It's probably you know.
It says, uh-huh.
Here it says, uh-huh.
Okay. Alt 3 is you know.
You know.
So it puts the comma. So, you know, like people talk, and guys, you're going to have it all the time. You know. You know what I'm, you know. And then he went to, you know. And he went, and the car went, you know. And it's comma, you know, comma. If you push Alt 3, which we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh, you know, yeah,
My
yeah.
little
it is.
assistant up here is looking at the chart. It's uh-huh 2. Uh-huh is 4.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Is 5.
It doesn't have
It's
those.
red.
Doesn't? So those are one that you're going to use a lot.
Alt 2 is
So
all
let's
right.
just say that you forgot to put it in there because they were just going so fast or whatever, and you know, and he went to the carnival, you know, and he played that game, you know, and these are all little breaks of they're trying to think. They're thinking in their head, so it's almost like a and then he went to the thing, and then he went to, so that, you know, some people say you know.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. So it's an easy way to do it. Alt 3 is you know, and Alt 4 is uh-huh. Okay?
Man, you don't know how much people say until you read a deposition.
Oh God, I don't even put them in there anymore. I really don't. I mean, we have an attorney, and he's actually a pretty good attorney, but I mean, he just, if you sit there and pay attention, wow. Yeah. So, did somebody else raise their hand? Something?
I was just saying that the equal sign does do the dash at the end too.
It's just an equal sign?
Really?
Yeah, that's what we're saying. It says it on here. On the last.
Oh, the equal sign.
I've never. Hey. Now you want to teach the
It's
class?
on one button.
You know what? And I honestly, I never use it. I always use the Alt D. But I mean, that does it also, I guess. You know, kind of find out. So yeah, the equal sign at the end.
I heard that.
We'll put it at the end. Huh?
She goes,
She said,
you're
"You're
welcome.
Someone's staying late. Katie just bought us another hour.
You don't even want to do
Everyone
that.
thank Katie.
I have a chance to take.
But I mean, yeah, it does it too. Honestly, I didn't even know that. But that's good. So even I learned something tonight.
The first letter of a word is a magic spot, and each time it only took one key to insert those dashes. I want to insert hyphens where you see the purple arrows. So I've placed my cursor on the beginning of this word and I'll press Shift hyphen. See how the cursor moved over?
Not yet,
Shift
but it's
hyphen.
okay.
Shift hyphen.
Article.
Let me replay that for you so that you can see how quickly Eclipse can hyphenate a phrase for you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. And these are just 2 ways in which the automatic punctuation features can make your editing more efficient.
So you can also mark it all and then
First letter
hyphen it,
of a
right?
word is a magic
What's that?
spot where
So you
Eclipse
can also mark it
anticipates
all
your-
and then hyphen?
Yeah, you can also, that's what I was just going to say. You can mark it and do the hyphen and it does the same thing. So
You're welcome.
whatever. Huh? I knew that. You're welcome on that.
I meant them.
She just want to say you up.
Like you.
Yeah. Like y'all.
10 points for up.
Eclipse
Slithery.
search commands include such things as page breaks and comment lines. For a nice clean screen, you can have these pop in and out of view, or if you prefer, remain visible at all times. Here I've highlighted several print commands, and you're seeing them because my cursor is actually on one of them. When I move my cursor, the print commands will hide themselves.
You see what I was talking about? That's exactly what it does. When you're on that line of the page break, it shows it. But when you're not, it takes it away. Okay? And you'll see it. I mean, you'll understand more when we get to it.
And you'll once again see the text box. You have a choice. You can have the print commands visible at all times, or automatically hidden whenever your cursor is not resting on one of them. Use the...
It comes with the hidden. Okay?
Do you
I
use
suggest
it
you leave
unhidden?
it like that.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Oh,
Hidden.
Hidden.
Because
Okay.
if not, then you see it and it kind of freaks you out. Okay? And you know, when you first see it, it's like, and I get it every year that I teach this class. Sir, all of these things are here on these other lines, and don't worry about it. Well, they're gonna come out and they're gonna print, and it messes my whole. Don't worry about it.
Wait,
No, it
do they
doesn't.
do print? No,
No,
they don't.
it doesn't print. They're just there for you. It's information for you. Okay.
Even if
Page
you
breaks
put it
are
in like
just
in a
for you.
lime green color so that you could like automatically know it won't
It's
come
in gray with red lettering, just like it came up.
out. Damn.
toolbar icon, or
Oh,
the
they're just
menus
fun.
or speed key Alt-U to go to the display section of your user settings. If you want the print commands visible at all times, put a check in the box next to print commands. If you want the print commands automatically hidden whenever you're not on one of them, remove the check.
So if you want to do it, help yourself. Okay? If you want to do it, help yourself. No. That goes back to the thing that I told you don't mess with these things too much, okay? I'm telling you how to do it. And you know, if you want to mess with it now, because we can probably fix it. When you mess it up, not if, but when you mess it up, we can probably go back and figure it out and fix it, okay? But I wouldn't suggest you mess around with the user settings too much. If you're having a problem with something, come to me. If I can't figure it out, then we'll call. Am I boring?
That's a little too audible over there.
You know, and if not, then we'll call Eclipse and we'll figure it out, okay? But I wouldn't mess with them too much, okay?
Check. Here are 2 display-related speed keys worth remembering.
Oh, there you go.
Shift Control
Whoa,
F10
pause.
quickly switches from showing your print commands at all times to hiding them automatically. Whereas Shift Control F12 just puts a number of display options at your fingertips.
Got it?
Mm-hmm. It's
With Eclipse, 2 basic steps will give you excellent number translation. Fine-tune your dictionary and fine-tune your number settings. Pure number bar strokes aren't even necessary in your dictionary. Other numbers building blocks will be defined as words, not digits. 100, 1,000, million describe orders of magnitude. Write the word dollars when you hear it, not before, and it, like other money words, will trigger number conversion with the appropriate currency symbol. If a number doesn't translate right, it's probably because of an old dictionary entry. Remove such entries and your building blocks will work properly. A separate presentation deals with finding and moving entries in and out of your dictionary. Occasionally you'll want to convert numbers after translation. Mark the number first, then click on the toolbar icon, or use the menu or the speed key, Control and the pound key together. Here you see your number as it starts out, and as it would look depending on which format you choose. However, your numbers settings will control, and so the gear icon takes you quickly to adjust those settings. Within these short presentations, it's not possible to show all that Eclipse automatic number conversion can do. So a separate in-depth ePower video tutorial is available on automatic number conversion.
Got it? Guys, if y'all messed that one up.
We'd already gone through that.
You think?
I know.
Let's see how to produce ASCII files. Once your document is open, there are several ways to begin ASCII creation. If you have a mouse lever, you can click on a toolbar icon. You can also open the production menu and select Output to ASCII. If you'd like to avoid the menus entirely, there's a speed key, Shift-Alt-O, as in output. In this case, you're outputting to a file rather than outputting to a printer. Here is the Create ASCII dialog. By default, the system would include all the pages of your document. But you can indicate specific pages only. If your file includes several volumes, you can specify which volumes you want included in the ASCII, or which pages within a specific volume. The default is to produce a standard page image ASCII. After the ASCII file is created, you can have the system produce one or multiple copies. The ASCII file itself is created very quickly, and the copying does not take very long either.
Got it? Perfect. All right, guys. That finishes the basics of it. Now we're going to get into the mores, or the more advanced things. Okay? So really pay attention now. And a lot of it's going to be repetitive, you know, on some of this stuff, but they're going to get in depth about some of the other stuff too, okay?
Let's see how to add lines and paragraphs. Speed key F8 is good for both new and experienced users. It opens a menu that you can use to insert or modify a paragraph. The menu lists every paragraph that is a part of your user settings. If you just press F8 and then enter, that inserts a fixed paragraph. But if you know exactly what kind of paragraph you want to insert, you can use speed keys, which have been set up for the most common paragraphs. For example, Shift F5. That's the speed key that inserts a fixed paragraph, or what you might think of as a blank line.
So it's an easy way just to put a blank line in there. So say you need to put a blank line in there, you know, whatever, it's Shift F5. Okay, try it right now.
Shift F5.
Yeah. So depending on where you are, like if you need another paragraph, you can do it that way and then just tab over.
Oh, nice.
So you can get at the beginning of a sentence or whatever.
Cool.
Let's just say, you know, you're right here. Okay. So how would I put a period right there, Debbie?
Just P. Yeah.
Huh?
Just P.
Debbie?
Shift P.
I'm not Debbie. Debbie
How would you put a period right there after paragraphs?
Well, after paragraph, you're supposed to put your cursor at the beginning, aren't you?
There?
No, at the beginning.
At the beginning of what?
Like at 2,
Where?
at the beginning of the sentence.
Here? And do
Like
what?
this, and then put the P.
I want it right here, where the comma is.
Okay, then put it at paragraph. Put
At
the cursor
paragraph?
at paragraph and then put the P, so it'll go after. Right, that's what you're saying?
I want it right there where the comma is.
Where you at? Okay.
How do I do it?
They're on there. We get this one there. And just put a period.
And then just push period. Not P, not Shift P,
No,
not
it's
Alt
here.
P, not Control, Shift, Delete, Alt P, just
Just a period.
just a period. Okay? So it's always going to do it behind. It's always going to do it behind. Now, if I wanted a question mark or a period here,
Then you
that's
push
when
Q.
I would push Q or P. Okay? Got it?
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
I get it.
So on what they were just talking about, where you want to add a line, you do Shift F5 and see how I put it on another line?
Yeah.
Tab over and it automatically tabs at 5. Got it?
All right.
So how would I put a comma right here? Debbie?
Just a comma.
Thank you, Debbie. How would I
Where
do it,
Where
Debbie?
do you want to put the comma?
I want to put it after paragraphs.
I guess it's going to put it before, so you put a comma? Is that what you're saying?
Put it before what?
You put the comma right there and it'll put it after paragraph?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
That's what I'm saying, put it, just put
so
a
I'm
comma.
okay right there and I just put
A comma?
comma?
Yeah.
Yes. Very good. Got it?
Let's see how to add lines paragraph, or what you might think of as a blank line. F3 is the speed key to insert a question paragraph, and F4 to insert an answer paragraph. Here I need a question. Here I need an answer. F2 is for speaker paragraphs. This should be a speaker paragraph. F2. The speaker table opens. I'll press 2 for Ms. House. We've been inserting paragraphs, but here's how to change one. You could move your cursor from the typing keys to the mouse and then click on the paragraph button at the left edge of the screen and select the paragraph you need. But it's usually faster to just put your cursor in the first line of the paragraph and press the home key a couple of times until the paragraph label blinks. Then you can use a speed key. F3 for a question, F4 for an answer, F2 to select a speaker. Then you can use a speed.
So how would I get in here? If I want to get in here, how do I get in here? How do I get in there? If I want to get in the speaker.
Don't you globally? You globe it and then go into the, no, absolutely wrong. All right, cool. Yeah. Oh, wait, hold on.
How do I get in there? Anyone?
Totally forgot.
Control 1 if it's the first speaker. Oh no, that would be the second.
No, I just want to
No,
get in here.
that's
How do I get in here?
Now, put your cursor on it.
You can. You can.
Really? Oh, I thought
Put your arrow right there and left click.
F2. Speaker
Or-
list?
No.
No?
Control J.
How do I get in there? Like if I want to change that speaker and I want to get in there and change that speaker, how do I get in there?
Is it F2?
I have Control J.
How about a,
That's probably where you're going after we leave here.
The home key?
Home. Home twice. Get you
Really?
in here.
Really?
Somebody's caught up on the videos I see.
Is that
What?
so?
Really? Yes.
No way.
Home, but it's
Home
right.
twice, get you into the speaker. So you can be anywhere, you can be down here. Right down here, look. Guys, you can be all the way down here at I would and press home twice and it's gonna put you right in there just like that where it's blinking. What do you wanna do with the speaker? And it tells you, it comes right up here and starts blinking. You can be anywhere in there, anywhere in this sentence right here
Oh.
and press
But
home
then you were
twice.
saying on the second one, right? When
Huh?
you're asking about getting with Mr. Moulton,
It doesn't matter.
so still
Yeah.
hit home
Still
from
hit
up
home.
there? Like if you're
No,
pressing
no,
up
no,
there?
no, no, no. No, I'm talking about here.
Oh.
I was talking about it down here, but I mean, it was just easier to see.
Okay.
But I made it easier because this one's 3 sentences long. So I'm trying to make the analogy of you can be anywhere in here. Anywhere. It doesn't matter. You press home twice and it's automatically going to go to the speaker. What do you want to do with the speaker? I want to change the speaker. It's not the right speaker. Okay?
So you don't use F2.
You do. Once you get in here, you press F2, brings up the speaker list, and then you put the speaker that you want.
Oh, okay, but to get to there, it's home. Okay.
Yeah.
I was writing something different in the notes. That's the big
What?
time for, compadre.
It says it on there, pressing home to the paragraph. Up there.
Oh, dear Lord, if it would
And
have been
you
a
guys are like,
snippet of me.
I knew I wrote it. God.
Where's the manual?
Holy cow.
It's like the little penguins from
Sometimes-
Madagascar.
Sometimes the answer is right in front of you. Sometimes.
I was on like, hey, wait a minute.
Oh my God, and it was on the page that I had flagged.
F3 for a question, F4 for an answer, F2 to select a speaker. Would you like an even faster way to change paragraphs? Then use hyperkeys. Your cursor can be anywhere in this paragraph when you press capital Q for a question, capital P for answer, and control 1, 2, 3, etc. for different speakers. 2 final commands, control P for paragraph continuation, and control J for join paragraphs. Here the speaker paused for a long time and then continued. Control P. Again. However, sometimes you want to join paragraphs. Then the command is Control J. Control J to join this paragraph to the previous one. Let's see how to.
So how do you join another a paragraph?
Control J.
Wow. The extreme obvious. Guys, you're gonna need that. Control, join, J, join, okay? I don't really use the paragraph one, because look what it does, okay? When you do Control P, which is what?
Paragraph, continue paragraph.
Oh, what? Wow. Look what it does.
I woke up.
See, so it kind of sets it up weird, you know? I don't like it. I don't use it, okay? How do I join? How do I join this back?
Control J.
Control J. So see what Shift F5 does? It just puts it down on the other line, you push Tab, and now
It's not even.
it's ready to go.
Fix blank line.
To me, it's easier that way. It sets it up better. I don't know why you would use that. One, it makes your paragraph like this. When the page is like this, and then it puts a paragraph like that where it's real, I don't know where you would use that. I really don't. So, I don't use it. So it's just easier for me to do the, what's a paragraph line?
How often do you have that many questions in a row? Like that?
Never.
Oh, just one. Wow, cool. Okay. Terrible example.
Never.
Talk about all those questions, one after the other.
Hmm?
What was she asking?
Why would you have, when would you ever have that many questions in a row? Never. Ever. Are you gonna have question, what's your name? Question, did you understand what I said? Question, can you answer the question? Question. No, it's all gonna be one question, it's just gonna be different paragraphs. Okay?
Let's see how the oops and delete keys work. The oops key can undo editing steps. The command is Control-Z or hyperkey Z. For example, if I add a suffix to specific and I pick the wrong one, I could use the oops key to undo my mistake. I like to think of the command to move back to my last edit point as a movement oops key. The default speed key is Shift-Alt-L, but the hyperkey is capital Z. That is Z with the Shift key. If I accidentally give a command that loses my editing spot and perhaps opens a dialog, I'll immediately press the Escape key and not do any further editing until I've pressed the movement oops key. To delete a whole word, just press hyperkey D or speed key Control backspace. Here I doubled this word. I'll delete it. To delete one character at a time, press hyperkey capital D or use the delete key on your computer keyboard. Sometimes you rewrite a line and then you want to delete it during editing. Control Y will delete or yank the text of the entire line. But Alt Y will only delete from your cursor position to the end of the line. And Shift Alt Y will delete from cursor position to the end of the paragraph. Let's say I included the wrong certificate page in this transcript. I could hit the Mark key, then Control page down to get to the end of the file, and then press the Delete key. Eclipse will ask if I really want to delete that much of the document, and in this case, I'll answer yes.
Any questions about that? So how do I delete a line?
Alt line.
Control Y.
Control Y. What does shift Y do?
The whole paragraph.
Only deletes
Shift Y is
to the end of the line. Yeah.
Huh?
To the end of the line, right?
It yanks.
Does it?
The Y.
Oh, no, the end of the
yank?
paragraph.
Hmm?
End of the paragraph.
The
rest
Y is
of
the
the-
yank, right? And then there's two, you can yank
Shift
the word.
Y. What did you say?
The rest of the paragraph?
I don't think it does anything.
Oh my
Right?
god.
I think it's Control
It's
Shift.
late.
Control Shift Y.
Shift Alt Y will yank the rest of the paragraph.
The time, press hyperkey capital D, or use the delete key on your computer keyboard. Sometimes you rewrite a line and then you want to delete it.
It doesn't do anything.
Y.
It's Alt and Control,
And shift.
so it's not
alt.
Shift. Okay? But I like the way you're just trying to come up with stuff, just throw
It
answers
says
out.
Shift Alt Y.
It's a Control, Shift.
So
Shift Alt Y
goes to the end of the
is
paragraph.
to the end of the paragraph.
End.
Not the end of the sentence, the end of the paragraph,
Okay.
okay?
What was your
And
question?
Alt Y does what? Huh?
What was your question?
I said, what does Shift Y do?
Oh, okay, I see.
Oh, that was a trick
What's that?
question.
What's that?
I feel like you thought it was something, so you, but then you realized it was nothing. So then you were
Hey.
saying you're trying to trick us.
No, I wasn't.
Hola?
Now we're really staying
That
late.
is a good one.
Now we're really gonna stay late. Katie's trying to outdo boss on boss's day. So Control Y is the line, okay?
Control Y.
Alt Y is to the end of that line, so just the end of that sentence, and then Shift Alt Y is to the end of that paragraph. Okay?
And shift Y does nothing.
Shift Y does nothing. Let's see what it does.
Oh.
It takes you up about 6 lines.
Uh-huh.
Is what it does. So be ready for that.
I knew it did something.
Yeah. Very good.
Just create it. Add it to your. So exhausting.
You and me both.
When you brain dead by the time you get it. So 20 minutes we get it.
All right. Any questions about that?
None whatsoever.
Lines. Yanking lines.
Yanking chains.
Yanking chains.
Oh, I have a question. How can we copy off of these little deals that we look at? Like those?
Looking you what?
Print? We can't.
Probably just push print.
I tried, but it didn't print.
It wouldn't?
I wanted, yeah, because I wanted that section where the ABCs, what was it called?
On the first part, right?
Yeah, on the first part. The one that gives you the hyper keys. You know, that little section with the hyper keys, the way it's all lined up, the letter and what it does.
Uh-huh.
I couldn't print it.
Really? You pressed Alt-O, it brought up the print command, and it wouldn't let you print?
And what I did highlight it, I copied it, put it on the Word page, and I saved it to my,
And tried to print it from there, and it still didn't?
no, I didn't. I got tired.
I wanted it so bad, I just left it there.
Yeah, I got tired, I was like, oh,
Are you always tired? You're just tired.
Well, I work full-time and I go to school full-time. I have 4 classes.
My Lord.
I'm about to drop medical.
Try it again.
Okay.
Try to get in that thing or whatever. Just press print.
Just dust yourself off and try again.
Yeah. Or that.
Try again. Try again.
But it should.
It didn't work in all
But I mean,
caps.
if not, then try copying it and put it somewhere else and then just print it from there. It's actually a good, it's a good table to have. It really is, in that order. It just gives you a different order, but I mean, you know, the sheet that I gave you is good too. But it gives you exactly like letter for letter. And I like how it's write down A, B, C, D instead of you having to look at all of them to see what
Yeah,
they do.
this makes me answer you so late. I don't like it.
Because if the letters were in line, you would be much quicker.
This is an example of what not to get.
I have it on my desk.
Use the other one.
You see, it wouldn't even let me put it on, as a matter of fact, it didn't let me put it on Word. I ended up putting it on my notepad. And it came out perfect like that.
It lets you put it in there. Can you print it?
I tried, but it didn't.
Oh, you're probably not hooked up to this printer anyway.
And it tells you like what. Yeah, I'll have to do that. Yeah. Should have made it.
Okay, I'm just kind of looking at something, guys. Just fun. That's why I'm kind of just here. I've never used this ampersand. Okay, but it's saying that it glues the symbols together. I don't know. I've never used it. I don't define my stuff like that. I don't know. You know, so it's saying that it uses the ampersand as a glue symbol in dictionary entries during translation entries which contain the ampersand. So, you know, if you put it like that, it glues the digits together, but not the words or characters which do not contain the glue symbol. So I don't.
Did you know that that was called an ampersand before you started court reporting? Yeah.
What?
Just wondering.
Did I learn it in court reporting?
I don't know.
No, I think I learned it in school. School. Did you learn it in school?
Right now, school, I feel failed. I didn't know that was called an ampersand. To me, that was an and symbol.
That's how we know it is and symbol nowadays.
And
Like,
percent.
back in school, they had-
And percent.
No, it's ampersand.
So, I mean, they're telling you, you know, the way that I would do it is just R period, O period, L period, F period, E period, whatever. But they're saying that if you use the period, that you're supposed to use the ampersand, and it's supposed to somehow glue it together, I guess. I don't know. I don't use it, so.
Yeah.
So that's, the way that they're saying here is it, you know, if you want, if they're spelling like the name and it's Rolf, R-O-L-F or whatever, E, that you should do the A asterisk. And when you go through, so you're going to have to go through your whole alphabet and do it this way if this is what you wanted to do, okay? And you want it to come out correct. This to me is way advanced, okay? Way advanced. And if you want to do it, fantastic. I told you that the Automagic will help you, okay? If you just spell it out, it's going to put the letters or whatever. So like, you know, if you're spelling out my last name, it's going to be Z-A-R-A-T-E. If I do Z period, A period, R period, it's going to come up in caps and it's going to be all together. No big deal. I mean, if the reader's looking at it, it's like, well, it's all in caps. They probably spelled it out or whatever. Okay. So no big deal. So when you get a chance to come over here, it's going to, and you put the cursor on that last name, it's going to ask you, well, it's all in caps. Do you want to stitch it? What do you want to do with it? Yeah, or do you want to just leave it alone? I want to stitch it. Press number 1, it automatically stitches it, no big deal. But if you want to stitch it, and you want it to come out as a stitch, then this is the way you do it. So you have to go through there, you're going to have to, you know, do that Control D. You know the Control D where it brings up the little machine, this little thing. So you're going to have to go through there and manually put everything in your dictionary.
Like a peasant.
Okay?
That's actually in how you right now.
Oh yeah? So if you want to, that's how you need to put it, which is bracket, ampersand, hyphen, letter, close bracket for every letter. So now when you do the A star, B star, C star, D star, it's going to put it as a stitch and it's automatically going to stitch it. Okay? And if you just want it to come out as an acronym and say, where did you go? I went to the SAPD. SAPD. And it's just going to put SAPD all together. I don't put it with the periods, I just put it all together. That's the way I do it, you know? So, if that's how you want to do it, I don't do it that way. You know, if you want to do it, it's pretty advanced. But you're going to have to remember, in the middle of them doing it, what you need to do. Does that make sense?
No.
They say, well, we're going to go to SAPD, and you do S star, A star, P star, D star. Now you just did that. So now it's S. Now it's stitched. It's not an acronym. Understand? So now you have to remember what you're doing and what you want it to do. Okay? To me, it's a lot of thought when you're going real fast and they're asking you, where'd you go? I went to SAPD. Where's that by? It's by the AT&T Center, and it's blah, blah, blah. Holy cow. And it's, was that? God, is that AT? Is that A star? Is that A period? And they're going. They're still going. You're trying to figure out whether it's a stitch or put together. I just do it with a period, and I'll fix it later. The reader pretty much knows what they need to by reading it, but you know, whatever. So if you want to do that, that's how you do it with the ampersand. Any questions about that?
No.
No? Okay, when you have WAV files are the recordings. Remember? I told you. So like say you did a transcript and you want to begin right here and you press Alt J, J starts it. J starts the recording. And just pushing in, which in is what?
Insert.
Insert. Okay? end stops the recording, and it takes you out of hyperkeys, so you can type in whatever you need to type in. Okay? So that's what they're talking about right here, is auto recording and playback. So you can adjust the speed on this thing to go as fast as you want. I don't even know what the squelch is. Backspace, so how far it's gonna backspace whenever you press N and then Alt J again. It's like, man, I missed something. N, Alt J again, and then it automatically comes back to the recording again, and it'll start wherever it was. Well, you can have it back up however far you need it to. So it you know, if you want it to start here, but it's like, you know what, I don't want it to start right there. I want it to start back here a little bit to where I get acclimated with the sound again, and then it starts, and then I can pick up there. You can do that by the brackets. So it's the hyperkey bracket that you can go in there and adjust these things. The pause, playback, all of that stuff. The playback. I don't start my playback like that. I just do the Alt J. Okay?
Let's see how to adjust your recording and playback volume levels on computers that run the Windows 7 or Windows Vista operating systems. I'll click on the Windows icon in the lower left corner of the desktop, and then select Control Panel. Next, I'll select the Sound icon, and at this screen I'll select Recording. This screen shows me that I have 2 microphones available. I'll pick this second one because it has some interesting properties. Now let me click on the Properties button, and here I'll click on the Levels tab to see the current level at which this microphone is set for recording. Let's also see what's contained at the Custom tab. Mic Boost is an option here. This may help on my computer, so when I'm running my experiments, I want to try a recording with Mic Boost turned on and another recording with Mic Boost turned off. Okay. Also click on Playback and check the properties of this set of speakers. Click on Levels, and here's a general volume control, and also this computer's sound card lets me listen to the microphone as it's recording. Of course, I would only want to do this if I have a set of earphones plugged in. Then I could click on this icon to unmute the microphone playback. However, you only want to do this if you have a pair of earphones plugged in. Otherwise, you'll hear squealing as the microphone and speakers fight each other. I'll again click on the Windows icon in the lower left corner of my desktop and go to Programs, Accessories, Sound Recorder. Now I'll start recording and see whether I'm getting a very strong signal as I speak. If the green bar is not moving at all, that would tell me that my microphone may not be attached or that the volume level may be set very, very soft. If the green level were to appear extremely low...
I'm not really stopping it because you're not really going to need this right now. Okay? It's not that big of a deal. But the thing about like the machines that we have now, like mine, the Diamante, I have an external mic that hooks directly into my writer, okay? And like if I forget to turn it on, that thing is not moving. So I'm writing. It's not moving, it's not recording, okay? You turn that external mic on, now all of a sudden that thing is jumping when somebody's talking. That's when you know. So you don't have to go through all of this stuff, you know, to do it. If you have an external mic hooked up to your computer, I guess maybe you need to do it. Or if you're hooked up to real time, maybe you need to do it this way. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, I don't do it this way. Mine is hooked up through my machine, and it does it through the machine. Okay? So you can control the volume, you know, on the machine. Almost. There's little settings on it or whatever.
Large, that could tell me that I'm getting a recording that is too loud, and that would be distorted. When I stop the recording and save it, this version of Windows places it in my Documents folder. So now I have an untitled sound file. I'll now be able to listen to the kind of recording that my computer and microphone are producing, and I'll be able to check whether the sound level is too soft or too loud. So give this process a try to ensure that you produce the best recordings that your computer has to offer.
Good luck with that.
Eclipse can use your computer's sound recording capabilities. So let's see how to use Windows Sound Recorder to test and adjust your audio. Click on the Start button, which is probably in the lower left corner of your Windows desktop, and go to Programs, Accessories, Entertainment, Sound Recorder. If you go to Edit, Audio Properties, you'll be able to adjust your sound